Mark Boudreau Design.
Design legend.
Brian Merton exclusives. Somebody told me the dress was horrible.
I am David Kunitz. I'm the Vice President of Design for Morris Toys. I'm Chris Gallagher. I'm with Lucas Licensing and I do product development.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So thanks for turning out today. This year in particular is a tremendously exciting year for us because our celebration, you see it infused throughout the product line, is really twofold. We're celebrating a new season of Clone Wars, the best boy show on TV. Plus, it's a very special celebration for all of us who grew up watching Star Wars, the original trilogy in the theaters, and it's the 30th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. We were tremendously privileged this year to really build out a celebration for ESB in product form and really take some chances, and that's a great thing. Hasbro said, you guys are doing such a great job with Star Wars. What do you really want to do with Empire Strikes Back? And you should have seen it when the team put a giant ad on the table and said, we want to do this. Yes, that is good. Let's do that. But then we wove it throughout the rest of the product line. So this year is really a celebration, but it's all because of you guys. So we couldn't be here with the exciting things we're doing unless you guys were the pillar and the foundation of it. Of course, as part of that celebration for Empire Strikes Back, we took it as an occasion to relaunch Vintage. We've been holding it back for a few years, looking for that special occasion to bring it back, and we said, let's go beyond just 6 figures celebrating the original Kenner heritage, and let's really take Vintage to new directions and new dimensions. So that's what we're really doing, along with another big new lineup, which is the black and the blue lineup that's appearing at retail, starting, well, it started to leak out now, but it's 8/1 is the date. 8/1, everything's available everywhere, so hold on for that. And 2010 will be a little more focused than in past years. We won't have quite the range and number of things. We're really tightening it up and focusing, so we keep Star Wars healthy and successful going forward. And we'll talk about the exclusives for ESB for Clone Wars, and why don't we dive into the Clone Wars itself. So this is the new lineup that you'll be seeing everywhere starting August 1st. We're striving for a little more segmentation than we have in the past between the Clone Wars basic figures and the Saga Legends figures with more of that orange striping, just so it's easier to segment our planogram. That's what we call where we hang our toys at retail. To segment these so it's easier for consumers to shop, it's easier for our retailers to really put together things at the end of the day. It'll just make it easier. We want to keep this distinction going forward, but it's a big new line look, and right there in the middle of the screen is something that you're seeing infused through all of our basic figures right now. Vicky will talk about what is coming. It's called the Galactic Battle Game.
Okay, so the Galactic Battle Game is something that we're going to have in all the figure packs, everything except for Vintage. It's very much a kid-targeted play, and it's going to include a unique card, and it's got 6 powers on it, and a 6-sided die, which will have 1 power on each side. You can roll the game, and it gives kids a very, very straightforward and simple way to play a battle game with their figures. We've shown this to kids and tested it, and we've gotten some great feedback saying, like, hey, I actually know who won now. Instead of, yeah, I got your head up. I won. I showed you. Now you missed. You have a great new way to have a clear winner and a clear loser, and so kids are really responding great to that, and so we're very excited to have that in the line this year.
Vicky sits there at her desk all day. So we keep her around. So look for that in August. That will continue on all through 2011. We're thinking that the Galactic Battle Game, since it's a totally new way to play with your figures beyond just the reenactment of what happens on screen or the open-ended play, that this really brings a lot of kids in. That's what we really want. We want Star Wars to be absolutely the #1, coolest, most exciting figure expression on the planet. So adding this cool new, dimension of play is really a fantastic thing for us. So let's actually take a look at what is coming. So Mark, do you want to tee us off?
We have a great new selection of figures coming out. As you can see, brand new Kit Fisto, Mace Windu, The nice thing about Mace Window, you'll notice that it comes with Jango Fett's helmet, which you saw in the show. And it's great because it's a super tight back, you know, and a link to the episode 2. So it's a nice little element in the back. And a paddle droid.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Go to the next one. And here we have, again, a great note for bolstering our Jedis with Kyber Monday. And then up on the corner there, you see a flamethrower clone trooper in a great scene in Geonosis where they're roasting battle droids and bugs and all the things on it. So it's a great scene, replicating that with the flames there.
Now that clone will not come with the battle droid.
That is correct. They're just kind of shown there in aggressive pose.
And so the accessories will wrap around, so
Yes.
it's totally really interactive. And then turn it over to Chad.
So within our Clone Wars figures this year, you know, talked about the battle game that's going to be in pack. We want to make sure that whoever wants to play the game has kind of the scene to be able to play that on. So a Sergeant Brick with a Galactic Battle mat will come as our redemption figure and mat this coming fall. So it's you collect your 5 UPC, send them in, and be able to receive this. This mat this year also doubles the carrying case. So you'll be able to get 16 figures into this back of this battle mat. So it has a hanging tag on it, so if you want, it gets hung up on the wall. You have your mat, you have all your figures stacked in it. It has a place for you to put your accessories for your Galactic Battle game. So we think just a really fun way to be able to collect more figures and interact with this new Galactic Battle game.
So it's a vinyl mat. So you guys have been asking us for, what about Star Wars storage for a long time. So we have a hard time getting the traditional cases out there because of the pricing. But this is a way where, like Jet said, it's vinyl, it rolls up. You can actually stick your figures in the pockets and take it, store all your cards, and take it on the go. So this is a really cool thing. And it's got an exclusive figure who's a bounty hunter and a clone trainer. So. Figure vehicle packs. Mark, you want to take us away?
Yeah, so continuing with our figure vehicle pack, it's a great way to bring to the fans the smaller vehicles, and so you get a figure with it as well. Here you have a Frico bike with a cold weather clone, a new version of the ATRT with the Scout foil on there. Let's see. You have another slide with that as well?
No.
We just have one.
Yeah. So in what you're seeing there were 3 repacks, so really dynamic repaints drawn from episodes of Clone Wars, but we'll continue to put in the new vehicles, the kinds of mini rigs that Mark.
Stay tuned. We're able to use this segment as a nice way to deliver some brand new vehicles that I think you'll enjoy.
Battle packs, we have 2 new ones for fall.
Yes, we have the ARC, I'll start at the bottom, the ARC Troopers. It's a great set that's anchored by Captain Rex, and you'll notice that there's actually 2 Season 3 concept ARC Troopers in there, so it's a great new look for those. And then we have the Mandalorian Troopers, which I think is one of everybody's favorite guys, sort of that whole Boba Fett relationship, which is a great thing. And one of my favorite things to do is $25 vehicles. We'll start with the repaints. We have a Geonosis AAT, which is really cool. And then we have a Ryloth-inspired walker. The 2 new vehicles that we have this year are the Episode 3 Swamp Speeder. Again, just like with all of our other vehicles, detailed to the max, very authentic. And then from Clone Wars, we have the Hyena Bomber. They're shown in flight mode. But here, I'm sorry, keep forgetting to talk into the mic. Here we have it in fully configured walking mode. So you can see it's got a great scale to it, very easily manipulated, stands very nicely, projectile launcher, so it's a really great piece to extend the $25 vehicle segment. Again, a couple of redecos of some great vehicles, Cad Bane's Xanadu Blood and Plo Koon Starfighter.
DK?
Yeah, I like to set up a bunch of guys and then knock them down. This toy, you're able to shoot 18 projectiles into the air to knock down the first blast. But then, using remote control, you're going to be able to just run them over at about 9 miles an hour. It's a great RC.
It comes with, it is a 3 3/4 vehicle and does include a clone trooper. So it is one of the funniest things when you run out of missiles that you just ram them down. So, wipe them out. So this will be one of our big focus items for the fall, one of those kind of gift-giving drivers that we tee up every year. And it'll be a big focus of our retail efforts. We'll have a commercial for this too, to really drive our 3 3/4 system. Talk about legacy. So, vintage. Okay, so vintage is back. This time it's not limited, like I teed up earlier. We're looking to run vintage for hopefully at least 2 years. And the idea is that we are going to go beyond the original trilogy. So whereas our vintage before had been really matched to what Kenner had produced in the late 70s and 80s, now we're saying for the first time, what if Kenner really had never stopped producing Star Wars figures in that original line look that we all love? And what if prequel trilogies also came out on that same line look? And that's exactly what's coming out. You'll see that starting in Wave 2. So we're going to have episodes 1, 2, and 3 on that same black and silver card. There'll be 37 basic figures in 2010. We've got 4 waves coming this fall, about every 6 weeks if things go perfectly. It's likely the first 2 weeks are going to be, the first 2 waves are going to be available earlier in August. Right now we're looking at a little bit of a gap between wave 2 and 3 that we're working to solve. But we want to get that flow right, so about every 6 weeks you guys see a new wave. And really the substantial thing here is 27 of the 37 will be new or have new tooling and decos. Their new characters are substantially new. And the other 10 figures are going to be what we call greatest hits figures, which are figures that we think we don't need to touch, like our fantastic, the last Obi-Wan we did from the Evolutions pack is an incredible figure. We said now it's going to appear on the vintage card for the first time, as if that's the way it originally came out from Kenner. So we're really just celebrating some of our greatest figures in this new pack of stuff. And so this is just a look at a Dengar in the first wave. You can see all these figures down in the case. And we will say that in the case, when the figures showed up here for us to set up a Comic-Con, they're a little glossier than we're used to. Our figures appearing. That won't be the way that they appear in production. They'll be standard figures just like you're used to now. They're just a little glossier for some reason in the case, like they oiled up for a bodybuilding show or something, I don't know. So, looking at Wave 2, which is the Episode 3 wave, I want to talk to you guys, spend a few seconds on the details here. So this is Darth Sidious. You've got a Senate duel with Darth Sidious, a figure that's, fans have been asking for, and now we can deliver finally. It's an awesome figure, great, phenomenal face. You've got Anakin as the Sith Anakin with a fantastic head sculpt. You really have to come down to the booth and check out his head sculpt. It's absolutely amazing. You've got a Magna Guard. And Brian, you want to tell us about the Magna Guard?
The Magna Guard is the, I can't remember whether it came out in exclusives or not, but it's the one that I had done. It has unbelievably great and added articulation.
Yeah, it did not show. So we've now slotted that.
So there you go.
And General Grievous with the cloth cape, so you could put the handles of the lightsabers in there. Super cool. Continuing the F3 wave, we've got, there's a fantastic version of Obi-Wan on vintage for the first time. Plus, we're going to do, that's obviously not a Stormtrooper, that's a Sand Trooper. Actually, the Sand Trooper's coming out. We're going to add a Stormtrooper, so you'll have both a Sand Trooper and a Stormtrooper within this year on basic figure cards. As well as just your typical Episode 3 Clone Trooper, and then we'll get Cody out on vintage too. And there will be foil versions. We'll have about 10 foil, I think 12 actually, 12 foil chase versions of the vintage figures, kind of the greatest hits of waves 1 and 2 that'll be out there as well. So like we've done with the Ultimate Galactic Hunt before, we just mix it up with some foil. They'll be out there in chase as well. Looking at Wave 5, these are astonishing figures, you really have to check it out. When we originally, I think on some of the Q&As, we originally said that we're going to do a new Gamorrean Guard, coming this year. And I'll be honest, some fans said, why? Why do you need a new Gamorrean Guard? We've got a perfectly good one from, Power of the Force 2 or several years ago.